At it again, and apparently Joe is back to his old ways once again. I mean, I guess we know the saying, can't teach an old dog new tricks, huh? He certainly hasn't learned anything new, that's for sure. But anyway, that's what we're going to be diving into today. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new. And if you would like to support me even further, you can do so via a super thanks. All right, if you would like to send me a care package, all right, or you can go to DocRichClothing.com and check out my wonderful merch, all right? And with that being said, let's dive in.
The biggest not-so-secret in Washington is Joe Biden's a little creepy.
I love those barrettes in her hair, man. I'll tell you what. And look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there with her, like a little lady with her legs crossed.
A 19-year-old wearing barrettes? What?
19 years old, sitting there with her, like a little lady with her legs crossed.
And confidence. I've got a lot of thanks to give out here.
And I want to see these beautiful young ladies. I want to see them dancing when they're 4 years older, too. And I went with Jess alone. Now, the very important thing I told my daughter and granddaughters, no serious guys in the 30s. Okay.
Joe Biden actually had to apologize during the last campaign for, let's just say, evading women's space.
I've always tried to make a human connection. That's my responsibility, I think. I shake hands, I hug people, I grab men and women by the shoulders and say, you can do this. And social norms have begun to change, they've shifted, and the boundaries of protecting personal space have been reset. And I get it.
He doesn't get it. He hasn't learned a thing since the apology. Here he is last night with Eva Longoria, getting away with as much as he could.
Thank you, thank you.
The old hand move.
Didn't he do that to Hillary once? Or some of y'all actually gave her a different nickname that starts with the K. Which I was shocked the first time that I saw you guys calling her that. I was like, it's quite interesting. Quite interesting, if I do say so myself, because I've seen some crazy stories. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he did that to Hillary. Where he was, as a matter of fact, I think that was him. Because he was holding on to her, and she was like leaning back, and he was just still holding, like she was like putting her hands on his chest or on his arms, like the bicep area, almost as if to like, all right, this is enough. And then you see this clip here with Eva, and she literally grabbed his hands off of her rib area and remove them. This guy, man. See, if this was Uncle Trump, everybody would be up in arms. The whole mainstream media. Oh my goodness, how could Trump do this? He was talking about grabbing him by the pee. Now he's grabbing him and you know, essay and all this other, man. The media would be going crazy. That's why the trust in the media is at an all-time low, because they aren't fair. If they gave I'll say this and then we'll jump back into the video. If CNN had some cojones and actually gave fair, unbiased news, CNN would be the biggest news organization right now. Their ratings would shoot through the roof. CNN is struggling with ratings. They fired, what's his name? Licht? I think that was his last name. They fired that guy. All they had to do to get their ratings up was get fair, unbiased news. Unbiased. Give us the news. I don't care about your opinions. You can still have your big anchors, whatever. Give us the fair, unbiased news. But they refuse. So, they'll fall by the wayside. Anyway, let's continue on.
The old hand move. Just a regular day in the office for Biden. You got trans flasher at pride parties, Juneteenth hoedowns, and movie night with Eva Longoria. Is Joe Biden ever going to hit the campaign trail? It's been 2 months since he announced. Now we're hearing he may have a campaign event tomorrow. He warmed up in Connecticut today and went off teleprompter and blamed the fentanyl crisis on Americans selling Mexicans guns. Listen.
You know what I get when we're talking about the fentanyl at the border and all that? I speak with the president of Mexico. Will you stop sending guns to us? We are sending dangerous weapons, particularly assault weapons, to Mexico. To Mexico. They're asking us, please stop it. Cut it off at the border.
The Obama-Biden administration literally got...
What does that have to do with anything? I'm so confused. Why should I care? Why should I care? I don't know. Y'all talk to me. Maybe that's a little too harsh, but if anything, that flies in the face of their argument that we have way too many weapons of mass destruction, weapons of war. No, Mexico does. We sent them all to them. Remember you said that, Joe? Yeah, we sent them all to them. We don't have them anymore.
got caught selling Mexico guns. It was called Fast and Furious. Eric Holder was held in contempt of Congress for covering it up. But that tells you how brilliant Joe Biden really is. His plan to stop fentanyl is to crack down on the Second Amendment. And then Biden went full corn pop.
And in most cities down in Philadelphia and New York, areas I know well, like up here, you'd see a truck pull to the curb and selling weapons, selling guns, selling AR-15, selling weapons.
Is Joe Biden talking about stuff he saw in the movies? When has Joe Biden ever seen anyone selling AR-15s from a back of a truck in broad daylight in Philly or New York?
Facts.
Last week it was gays getting kicked out of restaurants. Now it's rifle sales out of the back of pickup trucks. But Biden was on a roll, and he started playing the hits.
That's the truth. Now, don't make a lie. As that scene in the John Wayne movie, don't make me a dog-faced lion pony soldier.
And then he left us with this.
All right. God save the Queen, man.
Queen's dead, Joe. You went to her funeral, and you're not in Britain. You're in Connecticut. This is why Joe Biden's not allowed to campaign. Even if Joe Biden wanted to campaign, his handlers wouldn't let him. President Joe Biden doesn't really have much of a say in the Biden presidency.
President Biden came out publicly and said that he expected to talk to President Xi soon, in his words, and that they were going to get to the bottom of this. Well, what we're learning is that behind the scenes, what happened is the president wanted to talk to President Xi, and his aides made the case that it wasn't the time for that a phone call between the two leaders was not the thing to do. The president was essentially talked out of doing what he thought was potentially strategically the thing to do, which
So Biden's corrupt, creepy, and not in charge. Got it. His staff wouldn't let him shoot down the China spy balloon, and then they wouldn't let him call China afterwards. Now, a diligent media would connect the dots. China pays the Bidens millions of dollars, and then Biden goes soft on China. But despite the cover-up, a majority of Americans now believe Joe Biden took foreign bribes in exchange for policy. So how do you run against a creepy, corrupt puppet who's being protected at the highest level?
Quick question. Is God save the Queen like an old-time saying or something? Is that a thing? Or like, is this guy just completely off his rocker? Which is definitely a possibility. Like that's not far-fetched. Obviously. I mean, this guy is talking about literally having trucks pull up in random areas and people are just out the back of the truck selling weapons. Listen, if you've ever seen it, let me know. But I've never seen it. Never. Not once a day in my life. Not one time. As a matter of fact, I might go hit the range today and buy a little shum. You know, just because. Just because. This stuff is ridiculous, man. This is crazy. How could this guy be the leader of the free world? And you know, the crazy thing is, the more he speaks, the worse it looks. So when Jesse Waters was talking about how, his alleged handlers aren't letting him campaign a whole lot, I'm sure they aren't. Not until he's in like the best of best, shape. His mental is at its height. He's had, his 5-hour nap, and they've given him what I'm sure there are some types of, medicines out there or drugs or whatever, legal drugs that, you can give people to heighten their focus. I believe, isn't Adderall one or something? I think, I don't know that for a fact. I'm not a pill popper, but I'm sure they probably give him some stuff, you know, to prop him up a little bit. Cause there's moments where like he seems like alive, kind of, not like Donald Trump alive, obviously, but not like his old, I was in the years. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. Like he's not completely mumbling his words. But I don't know. I don't know. I haven't gotten to that age. If we have anybody that is at that age watching, or if you have any grandparents that, you know, kind of went through this, let me know in the comment section. I'm really kind of curious about that, really, because for me, from the outside looking in, it's kind of strange. Like, he's still not all there, right? That's obvious. I mean, the guy, I mean, he was clear in what he was saying here in these clips. But he still said some wild stuff, like people hopping out the back of trucks. But he's more alive than he is some other times where he's just, and then he's like, shaking hands with Ghost and everything. I mean, come on, man. This is absolutely embarrassing. It's an absolute joke. If I were other countries, honestly, I would want Joe to be in charge. If I were other countries, hey Joe, keep Joe in office, please, please, because y'all are going downhill fast, and we're tired of y'all ruling the world, okay? Which could lead into a whole nother conversation, you know, about, you know, WEF and all of that kind of stuff. But I'll spare you guys from that whole conversation. We've had that before. But it is really interesting where you really think about, you know, I believe what they want. And I think I even heard them say it once in one of the videos that we checked out. But, you know, they want everyone on the same level. But in order to do that, you got to bring down the U.S. to everybody else's level. And how do you do that? From the inside out. You can't do it from the outside in, because then you unite the U.S. behind something, and that could be very, very dangerous for an already powerful nation. You have to destroy them from within, and that's what it looks like is happening currently with this president in office, is that we're being destroyed from within. It's not coming from any outside forces. It's not like China is invading our borders. It's not like Russia is on American soil. You guys know the old saying, you know, there's a gun behind every blade of grass. That would be tragic for them if they invaded our soil, okay? But they can destroy us from within. And I don't know this with 100% certainty, so don't hit me with no misinformation. This is just my personal opinion. But it just feels like we're being destroyed from within. But as always, y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.